Many people in the urban agriculture movement speak about the need for community composting centers. And it's interesting because when we think about compost itself, the makeup of the compost itself is a community. And it's a community of the fungi, of the microbes, of the bacterias, of the different ingredients such as the leaf, the molds, the carbon, the nitrogen, the amino acid. So we feed our compost not only the raw material inputs, but we also make sure that we're always putting in things that add mineralization and amino acid building. So we're talking about the kelps, the alfalfas, sea salts, yeast, brands, all of that gets put in here because this is going to be a community of organisms that come to feast on this material and transform it into something useful that we can plant in. So when we talk about community composting operations, we're also talking about teaching. Like, where do you learn these skills? How do we learn that all of this material that's around us is valuable? Who teaches us that? So I know for myself, I personally have learned it in a lot of different ways from teachers at home, like family members having piles of green material or vegetable kitchen scraps doing their thing, earthworms coming into it, all of that happening. Also, one of my teachers, Adonijah Miyamura L. in South Central Los Angeles, he created these huge compost bins that would be filled with newspapers, layers of newspaper, layers of organic matter from the farm, layers of food scraps, layers of leaves, shrubbery that had been pruned, and then he would just stick the hose in that thing and cover it with newspaper and cardboard. And many of these bins were 5 feet deep. Oh man, you can imagine what kind of activity we saw in those. And then I saw different composting systems at larger scale farms, mid-sized farms, still farms where people are working by hand, and saw these colloidal compost systems where we ran the tube underneath and let the air breathe through the pile and constructed a pile on top of a tube on the ground. And then got into this. Some people call it bokashi, some people call it fermented compost, some people call it activated mulch. There's a lot of different ways to talk about it, but the point is that we are creating these piles from the material that we grow and the material that is in our region, in our metro Atlanta region, in our southeastern United States region, because the United States population is about 4% of the global population, but we produce so much waste. So this is an opportunity to recycle what we produce, create and upgrade its value, and then utilize it again and again and again. For everybody who supports us on Patreon, we are truly grateful to you. It keeps us focused and productive and managing natural resources the best we can while doing our food production. So it's very fulfilling for us to be able to do this work, continually recycling and upcycling everything that we grow and that we produce, and then to transform it back into delicious, vital food. Grow where you are.